Okay, after a long wait, we finally entered the beginning of version 3.3. Of course, there are several new characters, one of which is Hyacine. She has a very unique kit. Her ultimate increases the maximum HP of all teammates, which is very good for characters with HP scaling, such as Tribbie, Mydei, Castorice, and Blade. Additionally, despite being a sustained character, she has a very high speed and big MEMOSPRITE damage. Can Hyacine rival or shift the position of the best sustain in the current meta? Without further ado, I'm Hoyostation and we're going to dive straight into the ultimate guide for Hyacine in version 3.3. Let's do this. Before we continue the video, I want to tell you some super important information that you should know, guys. It's about Top Up Live. Top Up Live is a trusted top-up service offering a variety of your favorite top games such as Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero. As a global platform, Top Up Live offers a variety of popular local and international live streaming and game top-ups. Game cards, gift cards, and game CD keys with digital catalog has over 3,000 game channels, supported by 70 international partners and more than 126 gaming communities worldwide. Of course, Top Up Live also offers the best prices up to 25% off, which means you can get much cheaper prices than you can get today. Still not enough, you can enter the promo code at the time of purchase and get an additional sweet 8% discount. Still not sure about Top Up Live? Do not worry, Top Up Live is a leading global brand with over 10 years of experience specializing in providing online game stores and distribution platforms for live streamers, gamers, game developers, and publishers. Of course, it's 100% legit. So what are you waiting for? Start using Top Up Live right now. As always, before we dive deeper into her kit, we will talk about her base stats first. Hyacine is a wind-type character with a Remembrance Path that has very low base HP, though her kit scales with her maximum HP of 1087 points. Still, this weakness is comparable to her high base speed of 110 points. If we compare to Glaya, which also has super high speed, Hyacine has a much higher base speed, with a difference of 8 points. Anyway, Hyacine has a very low base attack of 388 points. However, this is not a problem because none of her kits scale with attack, and she is not a DPS character. Hyacine's maximum energy is 140 points, the same as the previous character, Alexa. Of course, this number is pretty high, especially considering that her ultimate is one of her most important abilities. However, this can easily be overcome with energy rope and high speed. As we know, high speed allows her to get a lot of turns and consistently launch her ultimate. Next, we will enter the skill from Hyacine, which is called Love Over the Rainbow. This skill can summon a MEMOSPRITE named Little Ika and provide HP recovery to all teammates. You know, this is one of the advantages of this skill compared to other sustains that cannot heal all team members. Of course, some characters benefit more than others from this skill. One such character is Castorice, who needs quite a lot of recovery to charge her ultimate. Next, we will discuss her ultimate, We Who Fly into Twilight. Her ultimate's effect is actually similar to the effects of her skills in that they both restore teammates' HP and summon Little Ika. The fundamental difference lies in the fact that it activates after rain mode for 3 turns, which increases all teammates' maximum HP. This buff is very useful for characters with scaling against maximum HP, such as Tribbie, Mydei, and Castorice. With the increase in their maximum HP, the damage they produce automatically increases. Interesting, right? Besides having a significant effect on the 3 characters, rumors suggest that the increase in maximum HP will also be useful for Blade and Jingliu in the future, because there will be massive changes to their kits in the upcoming patch, one of which is changing their kit scaling to HP scaling. What do you guys think? Now we will discuss Hyacine's talent. First Light heals the world. Little Ika's HP is equal to 50% of Hyacine's maximum HP. When Hyacine or Little Ika heals, Little Ika's damage output increases by 80% for 2 turns, and this effect can stack up to 3 times. Actually, this talent's effect is quite similar to the increased damage from the Tribbie's trace named Lamb Outside the Wall, which increases the damage from her follow-up attack. Through this talent, Little Ika's increased damage can reach 240% at its maximum stack. Furthermore, this increase can be triggered repeatedly because, as we know, Hyacine's skill and ultimate provide healing effects to teammates. With this substantial percentage, Lil Ika will contribute significantly to the team's damage output. Next, we will discuss her MEMOSPRITE, Lil Ika. Her MEMOSPRITE skill is called Rain Clouds Time to Go. This kit is quite interesting for us to discuss. Essentially, whenever Hyacine or Lil Ika heals teammates, 20% of the healing amount is stored and used by Lil Ika when it's her turn. The damage dealt by this skill varies depending on the amount healed by Hyacine and Lil Ika. Interestingly, this skill only removes 50% of the total healing given every time Lil Ika attacks. If the healing amount remains consistent and big, the total damage from this attack will increase as the battle progresses. In other words, the longer the battle, the greater the damage. However, one of the biggest drawbacks of this skill is that it's very dependent on the amount of healing done. To maximize this kit, Hyacine must continue to burn skill points, making this character wasteful of SP. Right now, we will explore the first MEMOSPRITE talent, Take Sky in Hand. This talent's effect is interesting because it determines when Lil Ika gets her turn. When Hyacine is in After Rain mode and uses her ability, since Hyacine has a very high speed, the effect of this talent will often activate, triggering Lil Ika's attacks frequently. Additionally, this talent provides extra healing to teammates with reduced HP, meaning the healing she provides even greater. This talent is useful for speeding up certain characters, such as Castorice, to trigger their ultimates. The next MEMOSPRITE talent, Soar Onto the Sunlight, gives Hyacine 15 energy when Lil Ika is summoned and 30 energy when Lil Ika is first summoned. This effect may seem simple, but it can have a significant impact because with this additional energy, Hyacine can trigger her ultimate in the first turn when she summons Lil Ika for the first time in battle. Why? Because Hyacine will immediately receive 45 energy when she uses the skill on her first turn. Interesting, right? Furthermore, the MEMOSPRITE talent called Fall, Then Take Wing advances Hyacine's action by 30% when Lil Ika disappears from battle. This talent is useful because it allows Lil Ika to be immediately called back into battle. Unfortunately, because of her kit's speed and healing abilities, Lil Ika is difficult to lose in battle because she is quickly healed by Hyacine's skills and ultimate. Therefore, it's difficult to trigger the effect of this talent. Alright, we've discussed Hyacine's MEMOSPRITE. Now we will talk about the technique called Day So Right, Life So Fine. This effect is great because it provides fairly high HP recovery and adds 20% maximum HP to all teammates. This is useful for characters that can reduce teammates' HP such as Castorice. This increases Castorice's damage output from the start of the turn. Additionally, since Hyacine can trigger her ultimate at the beginning of the turn, the effect of this technique will be even more greater, as all teammates will receive an additional 50% maximum HP at the start of the turn. Interesting, right? Okay guys, now we will move on to her traces. For minor traces, it provides 14 speed points, 18% effect resistance, and 10% HP. These three stats are useful for Hyacine. The addition of 10% HP increases the healing amount and automatically increases Lil Ika's total damage. The addition of speed to these minor traces provides the highest amount of speed that can be obtained in the game for now. Clearly, these traces are very valuable. Next, we will discuss her first trace. The first trace is called Tempestuous Halt. The effect of this trace is quite good because we can get additional maximum HP for Hyacine and Lil Ika. However, personally, I think the conditions to activate this trace effect are quite difficult. Namely, you need to have speed points above 200 points. Reaching 200 speed points is not easy, especially if we use a relic that doesn't have any speed. To reach 200 speed, we have to use many things, such as the latest relic set and her signature light cone, which provides a big enough speed stat. These traits are difficult to activate, especially for new players or players with limited relics. The next trace is called Stormy Cares. This trace will be useful for Hyacine and her teammates because she already has an effect resistance of 18% from her minor traces. When this is added to the effect of her traces, the total is 68%. This can easily reach 100% through the substat obtained from her relic. With such a high effect resistance, Hyacine will find it difficult to be affected by debuffs or crowd control from enemies, allowing her kit to run uninterrupted. Additionally, she can remove debuffs for all teammates every time she casts her skills and ultimate. This is an important must-have ability for healing characters. Her last trace, Gloomy Green, increases Hyacine's and Idol Ika's critical rate by 100%. With this effect, they are sure to deliver critical attacks when attacking enemies. This means that Hyacine no longer needs critical rate stats. Additionally, when healing teammates with 50% or less, Hyacine and Idol Ika's healing is increased by 25%. Due to Castorice's ability to reduce the HP of all team members, this additional outgoing healing is maximized. Finally, we arrive at the last part of the kit, the Eidolon section. The first Eidolon is called Cradle, the Candle of Night. The effects of this Eidolon are interesting to discuss. First, this Eidolon increases by 50% what is given in After Rain mode. In total, the maximum HP obtained by all teammates and Hyacine is increased by 80%. This figure is significant for characters with scaling against HP, such as Castorice with additional damage and Hyacine with additional healing. Additionally, this Eidolon provides a healing effect for characters that attack enemies. This keeps your DPS characters, especially Castorice and Mydei, with HP reduction mechanism at a stable HP after attacking enemies. The second Eidolon, Come Sit in My Courtyard, increases Hyacine's speed by 30% when a teammate's HP is reduced. This effect lasts for 2 turns. The addition of speed is interesting. With the increase in speed, Hyacine can act faster and receives additional outgoing healing from her traces. Additionally, this Eidolon does not specify the cause of teammates' HP reduction. This means teammates who reduce their own HP will also trigger the Eidolon effect. This effect is also suitable for characters such as Castorice, Mydei, and Blade, who can reduce their own HP without being attacked by enemies. Furthermore, the fourth Eidolon, Sunlit Ember, Yours to Keep, increases the effect of Trace Tempesto's Halt. Every 1 point of excess speed increases the critical damage of Hyacine and Idol Ika by 2%. Referring to the Trace effect, which provides an additional outgoing healing of up to 200 excess speed points. This Eidolon can also provide an additional critical damage of up to 400% if we have 400 speed points. This effect is impossible to achieve in normal mode but possible in simulated and divergent universe modes. Finally, the sixth Eidolon, Oh Sky Heed My Plea, is a very good Eidolon, guys. As you can see from the calculation I provide, this Eidolon will roughly double its damage output. In addition to providing a significant damage increase to Little Ika, the all-type resistant penetration buff is also very useful for teammates and Hyacine because of its flexible effect. The increase in Eidolon 6 is significant because it's a very expensive Eidolon, guys. In the next section, we will discuss Hyacine's signature light cone, Long May Rainbows Adorn the Sky. This light cone increases the user's speed by 18%. When the user uses basic attack, skill, or ultimate, it will consume 1% of the current HP of all teammates. After an attack from the user's MEMOSPRITE, the enemy will take an additional 250% damage equivalent to the total HP consumed. The damage taken by all enemies increases by 18% for 2 turns. Effect of the same type cannot be stacked. This light cone's effect is ideal for Hyacine. It also synergizes with characters such as Mydei, Blade, and Castorice, who want their HP reduced to maximize their potential. Additionally, this effect increases the healing power of Hyacine, which of course increases the damage of her MEMOSPRITE. Additionally, damage is added after the user's MEMOSPRITE attacks depending on the amount of HP consumed. Alright, as usual, we will move on to discussing Hyacine's build. Hyacine has several relic sets that can be used. The best set is for sets of the Warrior Goddess of Sun and Thunder, which increases speed by 6%. This set also provides an additional 6% speed and increases critical damage by 15% for all teammates when the user and MEMOSPRITE provide healing. As I discussed earlier, Hyacine and her MEMOSPRITEs will heal all teammates, maximizing the effect of this relic. Additionally, Hyacine can consistently maximize the effects of these 4 sets, which automatically provide permanent critical damage buffs to teammates. In addition to the warrior goddess of Sun and Thunder set, Hyacine has alternative relics with speed stats, such as 2 sets of Messenger traversing hyperspace and Sacredos Relieved Ordeal, because she needs high speed to maximize her kit. The best planner ornament set is the Giant Tree of Wrapped Brooding, which increases the user's speed by 6% and outgoing healing by 12% or 20% when the user's speed is 135 or 180 point. Hyacine can maximize this planner's effect because she is designed to have a speed of at least 200 points. For alternative planners, use Penacony Land of the Dreams or Sprightly Back if you need additional energy regeneration. Anyway, the status recommendations are as follows. Then what about a light cone suitable for Hyacine? The main one is her signature light cone, Long May Rainbows Adorn the Sky, whose effects perfectly match Hyacine. If you don't want to pull her signature light cone, you can use a free one from her task shop called Memory's Curtain Never Falls. It increases the user's speed by 12% and the damage of all teammates by 16% for 3 turns when the user launches the skill. This light cone is a good alternative because the additional speed is substantial. Although there's no additional damage to Hyacine's personal damage, this light cone can be the best choice for those of you who are free to play. In the final section, we will briefly discuss characters that are well suited to Hyacine's kit. As you know, Hyacine is a Remembrance character who can consistently heal all teammates with her skills and ultimate abilities. Castorice is one such character. Castorice is a main DPS character who can reduce the HP of all teammates and has scaling against maximum HP. This is ideal for Castorice, who needs a lot of healing to fill her ultimate quickly. Additionally, the max HP added by Hyacine's ultimate will increase Castorice's damage. The next character who will benefit from Hyacine's appearance is Mydei. He has an HP reduction mechanism. To charge it, he must be hit by an attack or reduce his own HP. The effect of adding maximum HP is also very helpful for characters with HP scaling, like Mydei. Additionally, Mydei has a very high maximum HP when he is in Vendetta mode, and it will be even higher with Hyacine. For the next character to benefit from Hyacine's appearance is none other than Tribbie. Tribbie, who is a support as well as a sub DPS, has an attack that also scales from maximum HP. Which of course, the addition of maximum HP will be very useful for damage from follow-up attack and ultimate from Tribbie. The addition of resistant penetration from Tribbie's skill will also be useful for attacks from Little Ika, both of which are quite good when put together in one team. Lastly, there's Blade, who may have been overlooked in the current meta because his damage and kit are inferior to those of the newest characters. Blade has double scaling, namely attack and maximum HP. However, the biggest percentage is in his maximum HP, from which he will certainly benefit from the appearance of Hyacine. If your Hyacine uses the light cone, then every time Hyacine acts, Blade will get 1 additional stack point from his talent because his HP is reduced. Rumor has it that Blade will be revamped so that all his scaling moves to maximum HP, which will automatically make Hyacine the best sustain option for him. Apart from Blade, Jingliu is also getting a revamp in the form of a change to her scaling kit from attack to maximum HP. This will make Hyacine one of the best sustain options for Jingliu after her rumored revamp in version 3.4. Okay guys, maybe that's all for this video. What do you think about Hyacine? Please type in the comments down below and don't forget to check out my other videos because they are no less cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.